Hello, I am Aladdin Dawa. Answer misconceptions about Islam, academic dialogues on Islam and other faiths.
So what you got for me? We're talking about Paul, apostle, yay or nay?
I'm sorry, am I coming clear?
Yeah, I can.
Am I coming?
Well, you're not on camera, but you're up.
No, I'll turn off the camera. Sorry. How about now?
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
What you got?
Thank you very much.
What you got,
Actually,
bro?
I came when you were.
Yeah, I remember.
Before you
That's why I
started.
brought you up. We chatted in the private chat for a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Actually, that's my first time to join your channel, and I don't know much about you. See, so
okay.
I was supposed to sleep. It's almost 2 a.m. here.
Oh no! I hope I'm not giving you insomnia.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Don't worry, no worries. So actually, I watched the end of your presentation before I joined you live. I just went back and I've seen you quoting some verses from the Holy Quran, like quoting chapter 3, verse 55, chapter 61, verse 14.
Yeah.
And after that, yeah. So if you don't mind me, I would like to correct some of the thoughts, mistakes that you said about those verses, if you don't mind me, please.
I mean, yeah, you're welcome to try and rebut me. That's the point.
Okay. So first of all, what you have done here, you just got, chapter 3, Surah Al-Imran, verse 55, and then you quote chapter 61, Surah As-Saff, verse 14. You try to combine them to put together just to prove to everybody that the disciples of Jesus were victorious over their enemy. So therefore, those are, like others says, the Christians, so therefore they were victorious over Muslims. Please allow me to correct here.
I mean, you're welcome to make your case, bro.
Yeah, I'm not here to make my case. I'm here to correct you if you don't mind me with respect. If it's okay with you.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to attempt to correct me. Sure.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'm welcome to respond.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much for being so kind. Actually, you quote Quran, Surah Al-Saf, chapter 61, verse 10, and Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 55. You say it's all started on Surah 61, verse 14, that the Christians are superior over the Muslim. This proves, I'm sorry with all due respect, how you lack knowledge about the Holy Quran. Because according to the chronological order of Surah, chapter 3, Al-Imran, was revealed to Prophet Muhammad before chapter 61, Surah As-Saf. Surah Al-Imran was number 89, and Surah As-Saf was number 109. So chapter
there's I mean, we don't have to get into all this too much, but there's some dispute about that, right? That's not as cut and dried as people make it out to be. And even Muslim scholars will admit that they're not exactly, they have a pretty good idea, but some of this is hypothesizing, and they're hypothesizing outside of the Quran to come up with when these particular surahs were. They're just their best guess.
You see, that's not the best guess. You asked me to refute you, and I accepted that. So I'm trying to answer you.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, let's talk. Go ahead. Talk about 6114, though. I'm interested in what you guys say.
I'm coming to it. I'm coming to 6114. I'm coming to 355.
Okay, take it easy, my friend. Take it easy.
We're good. We're good.
I'm teasing. You. You're fine. Go ahead, bro.
I'm very easy.
Yeah, I know you're probably tired, so I'll just.
It's 2 a.m. here. I'm talking to you while everybody around me is sleeping.
Yeah, no, I understand. Sure. No, you're good.
Okay, so chapter 3, verse 55. You quote text out of context. The context actually starts from verse number 51. Christ says to his disciples, God, Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so worship him alone. This is the straight path. Then the disciples respond to Jesus and say that they are Muslims who submit to Allah alone, and they declare the gospel, which is the Injil that was revealed to Jesus. Allah said in verse 55, he will make the Muslims disciples, and Allah said that he will make Muslim disciples and the Muslims followers of Jesus superior to those who disbelieved until the day of resurrection. Disciples of Jesus and his followers are Muslims who declare that they are Muslims and they submit to Allah alone, not to Trinity. And Allah even declared them being a Muslim clearly in the Holy Quran in chapter 5, verse 111, where Allah says,
I quoted that one too.
That's why.
Okay, so where are the Muslim disciples in any historical record?
With all due respect to you, can you please give me first the name of the disciples that you believe in as a Christian? Can you name them to me, please?
The 12?
Yeah.
Sure. You have Peter, James, John. You have Simon. You have Thaddeus. You have Matthew. You have the 12.
No, neither. You want me to name them for you? I'll name them for you. Simon, who is Peter. Andrew, his brother. James. John, his brother. Philip. Bartholomew. Thomas. Matthew.
Right.
James.
I'm not looking up the verse. I don't have all 12 numbers.
Now I'm asking you. Can you see the name of Paul among those names?
Right. But if you were awake for the part that I talked about all throughout the book of Acts, Paul was acknowledged by the disciples. Paul was accepted by the disciples. Paul was sent by the disciples. Barnabas vouched for Paul and took him to the disciples. So every single time that we see Paul, we have historical record of, the disciples are accepting him, acknowledging him, and preaching the same message that he is.
You see, Mr. Total Jahil, I don't know, I will call you Total Jahil. Is this your name? Eric Total Jahil?
it's a joke because, it's what you guys say that I am. I'm a total.
No, I told you I don't know you. That's my first time to see you or join you or speak to you.
No, it's a joke. It's just me being self-deprecating.
So what do you want me to call you?
You just call me Eric. My name's Eric.
Okay, Eric, good. And you can call me Aledi. That's my real name, by the way.
Okay.
Eric, I just asked you a very simple question. And what you have done, you preached me. I did not interrupt you. I did not cut you off. I did not speak over you. I even muted myself. Now I ask you a very simple question. Please do answer my question. Can you see the name of Paul according to the Bible with the 12 disciples that the Bible named?
No, but the disciples themselves send them. So if you go here, Alad, do you have access to the internet right now? Are you in front of a screen?
Yeah, I'm using my laptop and okay. So
okay.
And just make your point, please. I'm listening to you. Usually, okay. I don't like to interrupt the person who's talking, so I would like to listen
that's fine.
to you.
Let me read you a verse. Now in the church at Antioch, this is Acts 13:1-4, there were prophets and teachers: Barnabas, Simeon, called Niger, Lucius of Cyrene, Manaen, who had been brought up under Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul. While they were worshiping, now I'm going to give you another verse after this, so just bear with me. While they were worshiping the Lord and fasting, the Holy Spirit said, "Set apart for me." The Holy Spirit, who is the voice of God speaking, "Set apart for me Barnabas and Saul for the work that I have called them." So after they fasted and prayed, they placed their hands on them and sent them off. And then they went and preached the gospel. Now, if you go to Acts chapter 15, it said, I don't have the verse number in front of me. Let me get the verses real quick. I want the scripture. What does the scripture say? Or at least what does the account say? Okay, so it says, this is at the council at Jerusalem. They're talking about the Gentiles. And they say, the apostles and elders, the whole church, decided to choose some of their own men and send them to Antioch with Paul and Barnabas. They chose Judas, called Barsabbas, and Silas, men who were leaders among the believers. So not only are they, and then it also says in verse 12, the whole assembly became silent as they listened to Barnabas and Paul telling about the signs and wonders that God had done among the Gentiles through them. And when they finished up, James spoke up. James, Jesus' brother from the Jerusalem church, which, by the way, you Muslims tend to like James a little bit. But he's not called one of the 12, but he's one of Jesus' brothers. And he says, James spoke up, brothers, listen to me. Simon has showed us how God first intervened to choose people for his name. And then he talks about the whole Gentiles. And so that's the context. I'm just giving you a little bit of context, right? And so then they send Paul off with people helping him to preach a gospel. Why would they send Paul off if he's a corrupter? And they don't think that he's preaching the same kind of message they are. And they don't accept his ministry. Why are they sending him off to the Gentiles and saying, this is the messages that we want you to give to them? And why does it seemingly show that they're accepting him is actually preaching the same gospel that they're preaching and working miracles.
You're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so,
it.
Okay. So I hope that you will let me speak and you will not
Yeah,
interrupt me.
yeah, of course.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Actually, when I was trying to answer the first question, the first verses that you got from the Holy Quran, you interrupted me before I end up a while ago.
Well, I'll try not to.
And I stopped. I did not even speak, and I did not finish. I just started to speak. This is your stream. This is your show, your stream. So I'm your guest, and I have to follow your rules, right? So I hope this time you allow me to answer the second point that you brought up.
Yeah,
about
sure.
the Holy Quran. Thank you very much. God bless you. You see, I asked you if Paul was one of the disciples of Jesus or not with those 12 names. You said no. And that's good enough for me. Now, what you have done a while ago, you were reading the Holy Quran during your presentation in a Christian context to suit your needs. You are not reading the Holy Quran in Islamic context as we Muslims read it.
Mm-hmm.
Just you present the Holy Quran according to your understanding. You said at the end of your presentation, those whom Jesus, son of Mary, sent both disciples, Peter and Paul. And you said that about the Holy Quran, that the Holy Quran said that they sent, Paul was
No. I'm sorry, not to interrupt. I just want to correct this one thing and I'll let you finish, okay? I said Al-Qurtubi.
Yes, I'm coming to Al-Qurtubi. That's what I'm talking about.
That's who you're quoting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, that's why I hope that you can have some patience like you do. I'm so patient.
Oh, well, I'm patient. Don't worry.
And by the way, Eric, I'm not as young as you are. I am 60 years old.
Oh, okay? That's okay. I'm
60 years old.
You're
so
fine,
please
brother.
be patient with So please be patient with me as I am patient with you. I'm listening to you, so please listen to me. I know that you got Al-Qurtubi. I'm coming to it. And I know that you said that Al-Qurtubi said that. I know that. And I'll tell you what did Al-Qurtubi say this in the Islamic interpretation.
Sure.
What you were talking about chapter 36 of the Holy Quran, verse 14. Allah said, إِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهِمْ اثْنَيْنِ فَكَذَّبُوهُمَا فَعَزَّزْنَا بِثَالِثٍ فَقَالُوا إِنَّا إِلَيْكُمْ مُرْسَلُونَ. Which means, we sent to them two messengers, and they rejected both of them as liars. Then we strengthened them with a third. Now, Tafsir al-Qurtubi said Paul, in Islamic interpretation of the Holy Quran, was sent by Christ as the third messenger to the village of Antakya, because they rejected Christ according to the Islamic perspective. But according to the Christian faith, the village of Antakya was one of the first villages that had accepted Christ. Islam said during the time of Jesus Christ on earth, Jesus Christ sent one of his companions, one of his friends, named Paul, to Antakya because they rejected Christ. But in Christianity, Paul was an enemy of Christ when Christ was on earth. And Paul, for the Christian, came after the time of Christ, not during the time of Christ on earth, which contradicts Christian faith. So how can Christ send Paul, and Paul was his enemy and came after him? Having the name Paul in the Islamic interpretation of the Holy Quran does not mean that he is the same person.
Okay,
let me finish, please.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Just checking.
Yeah, please, just give me another couple of minutes.
Okay.
So, if you consider him the same person, that contradicts Christianity. I'll give you one simple example from the Bible. For example, in the Bible, you have the name of John, more than one person. Doesn't mean they are the same person. Matthew chapter 3, verse 1, you have John the Baptist, son of Zechariah. Matthew chapter 4, verse 21, you have John, the son of Zebedee, one of the 12 apostles with his brother James. John 21:15, you have John, the father of the apostle Simon, Peter, Andrew. Acts 12, up to the end. So they are not the same John, so they are different John.
So let
me finish, please. Just
sure. I was just going to ask you a clarifying question. So are you saying there's two different Pauls?
Yeah, the one I'm telling you, the Paul that the Quran spoke about is different than the Paul that is. If you speak Arabic actually, or if you read Arabic and you go to the interpretation, the Arabic language, and the interpretation of the Bible about Paul in the Arabic Christian Bible, you will find even the spelling totally different. The spelling is totally different. The name is totally different. And I just showed you.
Brother, so where historically do we have any record of this other Paul other than who are you quoting?
I'm quoting Al-Qurtubi, that's the one you quote. I'm reading what now can I finish, please? You see, interrupted me to prove to you that he's not the same Paul before I finish.
Okay, you got 30 seconds. Can you
30 seconds is too much. Don't worry. It will not take
Okay.
30 seconds.
Okay.
Quran chapter 4, verse 171. In this verse, Al-Qurtubi said in his commentary, Paul was a Jew and was one of Christ's biggest enemy and killed many of Christ's companions and followers. Paul said, if the truth is with Jesus, then we have disbelieved and denied him. And our destiny is to the fire, and I will continue to deceive them and mislead them, and they will enter hellfire, and I will kill them. So that's what Al-Qurtubi told you in chapter 4, verse 1 about Paul. So he's different, Paul.
All right.
Okay?
Am I good now?
I hope that is it. Yeah,
okay. Why should I accept Al-Qurtubi's account? It's historically reliable. When is Al-Qurtubi writing?
Excuse me, it's you who use Al-Qurtubi, not me. Did I use Al-Qurtubi?
Okay.
You use Al-Qurtubi to prove that Islam mentioned the name of Paul and said that Paul was sent by Jesus. So I'm correcting you that Paul mentioned the name of Paul, but the Paul that you are referring to in another verse in the Holy Quran, chapter 4, verse 7.
Okay, I got you. I'm understanding. We're on the same page. Okay, so let's just say you corrected me, and that's wrong. Now, I would like to look at those sources myself, because I'm not familiar with the task sphere that you're quoting here. Okay, excuse me, Eric. Bro, you gotta let me. I let you talk. I was very respectful. I let you talk. So now it's my turn. I know you said you corrected me, but now I'm.
No. In the Arabic language, you missaid something. You said tasfir.
Whatever. So yeah, okay. We're being pedantic. We're being pedantic at this point. Hey, look, I'm a total jahil. Remember? All right. So let me respond. Okay. And so, why would I? Even if that's correct, even if everything you said was right, and I butchered your guy. All right. I butchered your commentator. Why would I take his word for it that there are two different historical Pauls versus all of the early church history that came from hundreds and hundreds of years earlier, which I just spent 45 minutes defending as historical, reliable narrative. And we actually do have Paul's authentic letters that even critical scholars will say, yeah, we have at least 7 of his letters. I would argue that we have 13. And the ones that I used are out of the 13. So even if I grant your argument, all that does is say, well, Eric's stupid and he doesn't understand Qurtubi and he can't pronounce tasfir. So what? That doesn't tell me that Paul is a false apostle. I'm giving positive evidence that Paul was accepted by the church, sent by the church, endorsed by the church, and it's all recorded in a historical, reliable account. So I have Luke, who I can actually verify with multiple lines of evidence through history, and I'd encourage you to go back and watch the stream, versus Muhammad, who doesn't even mention Paul at all. There's nothing in the Hadith that mentioned Paul. And your Quran seems to say that these guys are going to be successful till the day of resurrection, and I have zero evidence of any people preaching Islam. I have ample evidence. Why would I change my view to yours when I have all this evidence on my side and I got nothing burger on your side? No historical record of any of Jesus's disciples preaching a Muslim message. Does that make sense?
Okay. First of all, I was not trying to interrupt you in any way when you said.
No, you're fine. You're good. You're totally respectful. You're polite. You're all good. We're good. Don't even worry about that. We don't have to keep talking about the tone.
No, actually, with all due respect to you, Eric, I'm not trying here to insult or abuse you. Honestly, I'm trying to correct you because you mispronounced one word. Do you know what is the meaning of tasfir?
Fill me in, brother. I should probably know this. I said I'm a jahil, so I'm just trying to read your books and go, why would I change my mind when I have all this evidence from my book?
Can you answer my question, please? Kindly, we don't have to talk now.
I just think it means to. It just means to. It's like an explanation. It's a commentary, right?
No, you are mistaken.
It's not to explain.
No, tasfir means deportation. Tasfir means deportation. The word means commentary is tafsir. So it is tafsir, not tasfir. Okay? So that was trying to correct. That's one of the reasons that I cut you off a while ago. So please, next time, remember it. Actually, you are not the only one. There are so many non-Arab Christian apologists who they always say tasfir. You are not the only one.
Oh, maybe I'm getting it from them. I don't know.
So it is tafsir. That's why you heard them saying tasfir. So you repeat. If you have any Arab Christian friend, ask him what is the difference between tasfir and tafsir, and explain. Now, number two, you asked me a question. You said, why should I take what Al-Qurtubi said, that there are two different poles? Now, as you take and testify and use Al-Qurtubi for mentioning the name of Paul in Islamic interpretation, and you yourself quote it, which is in chapter 36, verse 14, and you accept it because it suits your needs. Now, after I answered you and I showed you that Al-Qurtubi said in chapter 4 of the Holy Quran, verse 171, that there is a different Paul. So therefore now, you don't want to accept Al-Qurtubi. So you contradicted yourself by yourself. If you don't accept Al-Qurtubi,
and I said,
why did you quote?
Hold on, because I just said, but I already conceded your point. I said, for the sake of argument, let's say that you're right, and I toss Al-Qurtubi. I don't use that in my presentation anymore. Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument that I do that, right? According to your book, I'm going to hell, and you're making a claim, or at least Islam is making a claim, that Christianity is false and your book is true. But I have all this evidence that the earliest Christian apostles were preaching the death, burial, and resurrection and deity of Christ. And also I read your book just through whatever you might say my lens is wrong. But if I read your book at face value, 355 and 6114, it says that they will be elevated over the disbelievers until the day of judgment, and that they would become dominant. And I don't see any dominant Muslim disciple message anywhere for 700 years. So I'm reading your book, and then I'm also looking at my book and all the historical confirmation that it has, details of archaeology, names of local officials, titles, all kinds of descriptions of history that I can actually go through and verify. And I see that in this account, these men are risking their lives for something they couldn't even possibly be mistaken about, because they touched him, they ate with him, Jesus, after his resurrection. They talked to him in groups, and he ascended into heaven right in front of them. And they saw that he was crucified. They know that he was crucified. He says, feel me and see that I'm flesh and bone here. And so why would I throw my Bible in the trash, or not even in the trash? Why would I reject what it seems to very clear what I'm seeing and pick up the Quran and go, no, this is the actual more historically reliable account that really gives me the truth about Jesus? Why? That's the point. It's not about, well, you got something wrong about Qurtubi. Okay, maybe I'm totally willing to grant you that. Let's just say that I am. That's not going to move me towards Islam at all. And I have all the evidence on my side, and I don't see any evidence on your side.
Okay. Now, first of all, you started by saying that Quran said that you will go to hellfire because you're Christian. That's what you said at the beginning. With all the respect to you, my friend, for me as a Muslim also, I'm going to the eternal hellfire according to the Bible. And you read this in Matthew.
I appreciate that you're willing to admit that.
Yeah. Can I finish, please?
Of course. I'm not being rude. I'm just saying I appreciate that you admit that.
Now, for you as a Christian, according to the Bible, me as a Muslim, I will go to the eternal hellfire. And you can read this in Matthew chapter 10, verse 28, Matthew chapter 25, verse 41, Matthew chapter 25, verse 46, Revelation chapter 21, verse 8, Revelation chapter 20, verse 15, and so many others. Say that unbelievers, disbelievers, they will go into the everlasting punishment, everlasting hellfire. Right. So for you, I'm hellfire. So this is a topic that me and you should not talk about, because we both agree upon.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, with all due respect to you, my friend, you were, I don't know how to say that in English, because English is my fourth language. If I was mistaken, please correct me as I corrected you in Arabic. You were listening to me, but were not hearing me from the beginning, because you quote.
I think I'm hearing you. I think I'm understanding you.
No.
I'm trying to. Right. No, your point, if I could reiterate it, is you're the main thing that you've told me so far is I'm supposedly, and you could be right, and it's fine if you're right. And I'm, like I already said, I'm willing to grant. But somehow I'm butchering Keturbi. I don't know if I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I'm not familiar with the commentary of those verses. I will look those up. That's fine. That's instructional. Maybe that's helpful to me. If that's correct, sure, fine. I still think the 355 and 6114 seem to be saying what I'm seeing, and I'm saying I have all this historical evidence backing the claims of Christianity. And so that's what I really want to discuss. Not so much did I get the test, I might say it wrong again, TAF sphere wrong. You corrected me on that earlier. Whatever. Like, okay, let's just say you're right. Totally fine. Go ahead. Thank you for the correction. But do you see what I'm saying? I don't want you to feel disrespected at all. I'm just saying, like, why should I reject Paul? Because that's what the topic of this stream is about.
You see, I was talking and you cut me off again, and I was listening. When I said that you were listening, but you were not sharing to me because you keep quoting chapter 3, verse 51. I'm sorry, chapter 3, verse 55, and chapter 61, Surah As-Saf, verse 14. I actually answered you, and I gave you the Islamic perspective, the Islamic context.
And I think that the Islamic perspective is wrong.
So you are telling me that you understand Islam and Quran better than us?
No, I'm saying Islam is false, and I'm saying that your prophet.
Okay, I know Islam is false.
I'm saying that your prophet did not know what was actually in the Gospels. I don't think that he actually knew what Jesus' message was. I think he really thought that the disciples were supporters of Allah and spread the message. I don't think he knew what the Injil even was.
Actually, if you read
go ahead.
Actually, you see, I'm telling you, you were listening but not hearing to me. Islam told you what is the message of Jesus, and I quote the verse from the Holy Quran when I was answering your claim about chapter 355 and 6114. And I said that you quote chapter 355 text out of context. You have to read from number 48. Then one of the messages said, Jesus said, let me finish, please. I mean, I'm concentrating here when you.
We're having a conversation. Sometimes somebody says something, you think, and you say something. If you interrupt me, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not offended by interruptions. I'm not being rude.
Excuse me, Eric. I don't want to be rude here. But someone been writing you several texts in the private chat. Read it, please.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it? He's challenging you for a debate in the private chat.
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, he want to join you and he want to discuss with you. Anyway, it's 2:30 a.m. here on my place.
Yeah, you know what, brother? Maybe we're at an impasse. And I
enjoyed talking to you. Nice talking to you. Nice meeting you. So I hope that me and you can have a discussion. Let's say next time, if it's okay with you, we can exchange mic back and forth 3 minutes. Is Jesus God, for example? Sure. Can you prove to me that Jesus is God? So can we do it, me and you? 3 minutes each, back and forth. We have an open discussion.
I'll tell you what, brother. I know I'll probably be live a lot of times at night for you. So, but if you see me live one time, I'm doing these topical things. You're respectful. You're polite. I appreciate you. You're welcome to come back up. If I'm talking about the deity of Christ on that particular episode, which is very likely to happen, I'm sure that'll be a topic that comes up. Then yeah, man, I would be happy to have you, and I appreciate you coming up. And yeah, man, have a good night and be
thank you very much. I was hoping that me and you can have a specific day that we will speak about this specific topic. But you said if you I accept what you're saying. Thank you very much. God bless you. And good night to everybody. If I say something wrong that offended you, I do apologize. That was not my intention.
Nope.
Honestly.
You're a good guy. You're a good guy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Take care. Yep.